Okay, so you are very, very good at reading, at listening, and even at writing English. The problem happens when it's time to speak. Your confidence goes out the window. Today, we're going to address that and transform your speech. I'm going to provide 20 easy strategies to instantly gain confidence. So your confidence is going to start improving today. Clear, practical steps if you're at the intermediate or even at the advanced level. So welcome back to Master English Communications, and let's get started. Okay, first up, pronunciation and intonation. We want to be clear and we want to be heard. We want to master, as I call it, the music of English. So you want to focus on where to stress the rhythm of a native English speaker and how they intone or the intonation patterns. You want to target trouble sounds, right? So trouble sounds are things that are easy for an English speaker because we've been doing it all of our lives, right? A native English speaker. But something like think, you might even hear it pronounced tink in some places, but it's think, right? And then live or leave. If you're not sure how to pronounce this, you might actually end up talking about someone leaving, which is actually when you actually mean living. So live and leave. There are distinctions here, right? And this is why you must record and compare, right? There's no getting around it. Certain things you have to know because you have to hear them, a native person speak it, or a person who is fluent speak, and then compare that with how you're pronouncing, especially with sounds that may give you some trouble. As someone who studies other languages, I have these trouble spots as well, and I practice them myself. Right? So you want to match native speaker models to spot your gaps or trouble areas. So today, mark stress words in one sentence and repeat 3 times. So you want to record, compare, mark those stress words, and then repeat 3 times. Vocabulary and idioms. Okay, you have to use them at some point to sound natural and not like a textbook, right? And it's not always easy, right? Keeping up with the I guess the true language in terms of the form versus what an idiom may mean. It can be complex in any language. So you want to learn in chunks. And learn in chunks, you want to clarify, you want to give a heads up, and what's your take? All right. So these are sort of idioms, right? To say something, well, to clarify, I understand what you might be saying, but just to clarify, something's going to be happening later, and I just want to give you a heads up. So you want to make someone aware of something that may be happening. What's your take? So what is your take, or what's your take means, well, what do you think? Or what is your opinion? And you want to group by situation, meetings, small talk, presentations, right? The language may be different, including vocabulary and idioms in each. And you want to use new phrases in real messages. So when you hear something like today, maybe you had never heard what's your take. What you want to do is take that, right, and put it in a real message or conversation to practice it. Cultural context. You clearly want to avoid misunderstandings. So you want to blend clarity and politeness. So direct request with softeners. Okay. So you can be direct and polite, and that's what you want to practice. So someone does not feel like they're being spoken to in a way that is disrespectful. You want to know when to have small talk. All right. So the timing and appropriate settings. Many times before a meeting actually begins, that's when many business people will have small talk. They'll talk about the weather, they'll talk about sports, they'll talk about maybe some movies that they saw. Uh, in the United States, where I'm from, we avoid talking about religion and politics. And disagree respectfully. Unfortunately, we see too much that may be on TV where people are arguing and being disrespectful to each other for entertainment. But the real world is you can't do that. Right? So maintain relationships while being clear by being respectful as you disagree. For instance, I see your point. One concern is the timeline. So you just disagreed with someone about the timeline. But you set it up by saying, I see your point. You're giving validity to their idea, but you're expressing your opinion about maybe the timeline will be a problem. And so you'll say something like, I see your point. One concern is the timeline. And I speak about this a lot in multiple videos, right? So just take a look at some of the playlists in the channel and you'll see active listening. This actually keeps the conversation flowing. Too many people want to do active talking without listening. No, it's active listening. You want to use short confirmations and quick clarifying questions to prevent errors. You want to reflect the key point to show you understand and to build trust. So short responses or many responses. In English, we might say, got it. Uh, I follow you. Yeah, right. I got it. And I'm following. You can put all three of them together, right? But it gives the listener the message that you're in sync with them, you're listening actively, and you're engaged in the conversation. Clarify early. There's no use letting a mistake or a misunderstanding go on. If there's something you're even remotely hesitant about, clarify early. Confirm deadlines. Confirm the scope of a project. Confirm who the owners of different areas of the project are. This is very normal business activity. Reflect on the key points. This builds trust and prevents errors. So try this today. Confirm, clarify, and then confirm again. So that's the mini response, clarify early, reflect key points. Real conversations. Short, focused chats or talks will help you think faster and speak more naturally. This definitely beats long, rare sessions. Long sessions should be rare. The short, focused chats are where you set things up. This is the benefit of having language exchanges where you practice having short exchanges. So you put your thoughts together very concretely and very coherently. So you may start with 10-minute topic sprints like introductions or quick updates. Allows you to think on your feet better as well. All right. So intros, updates, and requests are excellent for 10-minute topic sprints in a language exchange. So try it today. Record a 20-second introduction of yourself that you can reuse multiple times. 20 seconds is certainly long enough for someone who is not yet experienced, but even the experienced people, to properly introduce yourself and to initiate and keep a conversation going. Consistency is the key. I'm a big fan of doing a little bit every day. This is how I learned and exposed myself to other languages. So consistency and goals, small steps, consistently equals big results. 10 to 15 minutes daily. Doesn't sound like a lot. It actually is not a lot, even for a busy person. But if used correctly, It will help you learn consistently. And this definitely is much better than cramming sessions into big, long sessions, maybe once a week that you're going to forget because you're not practicing in between. You want to have tiny goals, right? What are some phrases you want to learn for the day? I will pick out a word or two that I learned and I start using that word. And then 7-day micro goal. What do I want to have happen after 7 days? If I start on Monday, what do I want to know by the following Monday? Maybe that's learn a new verb per day or practice a particular speaking style or phrases, etc. So track your wins and then gradually make things a little bit more difficult so you have to stretch yourself and become better. Immersion with smart resources. So we all don't have the time, maybe even, or the budget to go spend a month in a foreign country thousands of miles away to learn a language. It would be nice, right? So you want to have a mix of resources, podcasts, videos, transcripts, readers. You also want to shadow for 30 to 60 seconds. So you want to copy the rhythm and stress patterns. You could take out clips from this video and replay them, right? That's something that you can do. Or you can take out clips from other lessons or podcasts, etc. And then spaced repetition, right? Review daily for retention. In other words, don't try to do everything at once in one day. Space it out. Right? So try it today. Watch a 3 to 5 minute clip. It could be a movie or it could be repeating a particular area of this video. Shadow it 30 seconds at a time, right? By shadowing, what I mean is you want to listen and then repeat. I do this a lot with news reports and transcripts. And then you want to save 3 phrases that you're going to use. Next up, we have paraphrasing and summarizing. You want to show real understanding. So you want to restate ideas in your own words to the person that was speaking or providing the topic, the idea of the conversation, so that both of you or all of you can be clear about the meaning. All right. This helps to boost your credibility. And the other thing is restating ideas confirms the meaning and avoids rework. So you boost your credibility by using this approach in meetings and emails, and then summarize to close. You have your goals, you have your next steps, and you have the owner. The classic business process. What's our goal? What are the steps? Who owns which steps? Try it today. And do it in 2 sentence recaps. It's not too much that you can't speak to it, and you don't get into a situation where you're trying to memorize a lot of words or text or what have you. Keep it very simple, and that way your mind is thinking in English. So let's take a look at structured speaking using simple frameworks. The PSC framework. What's the point? How do we support it? And what is the call to action? Right? Perfect for clear updates. Next, decision making, followed by the STAR method. So the pros, cons, and then the recommendations. This is a structured choice for presentations. Here are the pros. Here are the things that may be a problem or maybe a challenge. And here's the recommendation to meet our goal by overcoming the problems. And STAR means situation, task, action, and result. Short stories and examples. People learn a lot by hearing a short story that incorporates the pros, the cons, the recommendations, right? The situation, the action steps, and the results. So the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Repair language: fix misfires smoothly. We all make them. Even native speakers have misfires. So this is nothing to be ashamed of. So fluency will include quick, polite corrections. People actually appreciate that. So we'll use phrases such as, let me rephrase that. It acknowledges that something was said incorrectly or not quite the way you meant it, and so you're going to restate it or rephrase it. Oh, I'd like to make a small correction. All of these are polite but direct. What I meant to say acknowledges that maybe what you said wasn't quite clear, so you'll say something like, what I meant to say. So this is essential. You want to be accurate with things such as numbers and dates. So try it today. Practice a correction sentence that makes sense in the environment that you're in, business, academic, or social. Strategic fillers and pauses. And by the way, if you are finding this information useful, please do give us a like. Thank you. You want short pauses. This helps ideas land. You don't want to just talk, 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 talk. And it gives you thinking time. So you want to start with professional lead-ins, right? And that could be something like, a key point is, or something else instead of right? So what I like to do is I have a 2-second pause, and this is what I tell clients. When someone asks you a question, particularly if it's a question that is very important or may require a more complex answer, just take a 2-second pause and breathe and avoid using and then start to answer. The brain operates very quickly to formulate an answer. So here's some professional starters. Someone asks you a question, 2-second pause. Well, from my perspective, the brain is formulating the answer. A key point is the brain is formulating the answer. Let me think about that. The brain is formulating an answer. Record, review, refine. Build your feedback loop. Right? So I'm already telling you what you have to do, right? It's a 3-sentence project. But let's see how we do it. We want to record. Use your phone, and that can act as your speaking coach. There are many free apps where you can record yourself on your phone, so you don't need to pay for any fancy recording application unless that's something that you need to do for a particular business reason or other. You want to review. Review for speed, for stress, for filler words. You want to refine. Rewrite and retry. And I said two takes of a 3-sentence project update. It's excellent practice. So I also will give you this. As an organization that I was once very active in until I ran out of time, called Toastmasters International. And you can find them at toastmasters.org. Uh, Go and explore it. They have a lot of tools and meetings set up to help people with just this sort of thing. Minimal pairs and connected speech. This is all about targeting problem sounds, such as ship and sheep. Cab. Especially when someone is speaking fast, as a non-native speaker, this might seem to run together when a native speaker can actually follow it. Linking and reductions. All right. Kind of, lot of. So the natural flow. And you want to have 10 focus minutes. This will help you at fast comprehension gains. So try it today. Record one minimal pair in sentences, right? Ship, sheep, cap, cab. You just use the ones that are here. Uh, kind of, right? A kind of cab, a lot of sheep, etc. Right? So play with it and practice it. Next, you have topic packs. Prepare language by situation. You want to have 8 to 12 reusable meeting chunks. Right? So you have to decide what that may be depending on the business you're in or academic setting, etc. Small talk, all right, important in business, important in all situations, truthfully. And so, but in business, you want to have professional conversation starters and then negotiations. And you should see my videos on negotiations. I have several here. So just take a look at the playlist. And negotiations, very important in diplomatic discussion. So you want to have diplomatic discussion phrases that are relevant to your business. And you want to review them before events or meetings, and then use them during the event or the meeting. So try it today. Create your own meeting opener pack of 3 lines. Right? So I have, once again, there's a lot of material here amongst my videos on meetings and things of that nature. So now we have micro-immersion and note mining. 5 minutes of shadowing. So I already explained what that is. 5 minutes of reviewing. 5 minutes of speaking. You want to read short texts, extract 3 to 5 chunks, and use immediately. And that can certainly be as part of this 5 minute, 5 minute, 5 minute. And what are these 3 5 minutes? They actually end up being 15 minutes. So I told you, you can get a lot done in 15 minutes when you're prepared. So try it today. Shadow 30 seconds of some type of talk, review 3 phrases, write 2 sentences, and then use them as part of your practice. And then after practice, use them live. Social and business small talk, safe openers, professional, context-based. Use context, the week, the project, the local tips. Close politely. Move to the agenda smoothly. So here's a very safe opening small talk intro. How's your week shaping up so far? Very safe. It allows the other person to share a little bit about what's going on. And once again, it's safe, it's non-confrontational, and it starts conversation flowing so that people start to feel comfortable talking around one another. Try it today. Start your next meeting with a friendly question such as this. And remember, stay away from politics and religion. Metrics and visuals. Use round numbers. You don't want to say 3.472. Forget that. You might have that on the board and you can let someone read that. But when you start to speak that way, you start to lose people. And also give comparisons. So you want to lead with the headline and then add in whatever is going to follow that. Simple visuals, even without slides. So you can paint a visual verbally, but use simple visuals. And what you're looking at now is a simple visual. And here you go. Sales jumped 40% this quarter, our highest growth yet. So already visually, the person is looking at something rising. So having a simple chart or something of that nature, like the chart I have here, just reinforces that message. Question power and confidence rituals. So let's look at question power. Explore questions. What options do we have? So these are exploration questions. Confirm questions. So we're aligned on. So we are agreed upon. These are confirmation questions. And then align questions. Does everyone agree? Right? This many times this will come towards the end, but the different places within a presentation, you might ask this as well. So you want to make sure that you're breathing. So if this cycle doesn't work for you, what I always do is I tell everyone, take a breath before you answer a question. Take a breath instead of reading a teleprompter or a script and sounding as if there are no periods or commas. Take a breath after each point and then continue. And sometimes the first line twice. Sometimes people get confused by this. Posture reset makes sense. You want to make sure that you're standing or sitting properly and engaging the audience in a way that shows that they should pay attention to you. But repeating the first line twice many times will reconfirm the point that you're trying to make. You don't have to repeat them one after another. You can, depending on the type of presentation or speech you're giving, but you can open with a particular line like question, power, and confidence rituals, and then you can close with, and that's how we look at question, power, and confidence rituals. You're just reinforcing it. Right? So, simple daily wins, lasting confidence. Pick 1 to 2 strategies. Practice 10 to 15 minutes daily. Focus on clarity. Stress, rhythm, and useful chunks. Close the loop. Record, review, refine, and reuse. And remember, perfect isn't the goal. Improvement is. Being natural is. Being reliably clear and confident communication is. Uh, so please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I will see you next time as we continue our linguistic adventure together.